I'd like to share, at least in my experience since I've been in Eureka for many years, most probably about 35, I'd like to share something about spirituality in Eureka. And the first thing is just talk about the qualities that I see of people that have various spiritual orientations in Eureka. I think it's such a marvelous space. All my life I've felt this way, so it's not just now in 2002, excuse me, 2002, 3, but it's been this way ever since I came in 1987, which is a general marvelously loving acceptance of people of many different spiritual paths, many different spiritual teachers. Particularly in the 80s and 90s, there were a lot of people like myself that had been exposed to many spiritual teachers in the 60s and 70s and had come to Eureka having that experience. So some of the folks that came, and even now, do have specific spiritual teachers and in different parts of the world. Other people have a particular faith, um, and a particular known faith. And many people follow even uh, more ancient religions that aren't in the mainstream today. So my experience has been that the qualities of these people coming from many different paths are spiritual, or even just individual spiritual expressions. Maybe they don't have a particular faith, they don't have a particular teacher, but they just have their own way of relating to God or divinity. And so here are the qualities. One is a really not just a tolerance of other people's paths or faiths or spiritual expressions, but a welcoming of it, which is so it isn't just a tolerance, it's also a welcoming and an acceptance in the spirit that perhaps one can learn something from another path or another faith or a teacher that one doesn't know, has never heard of, maybe in the realm of either love and wisdom and inner power, which I think are three really big qualities of spirituality that you can see running through all the different paths and teachers teaching it. How do we love more? How do we receive unconditional love to ourselves, and how do we give it to others? How do we have more wisdom for making the most elegant decisions we can make? And also, how can we increase our own inner power of spirit inside ourselves? So, in general, that's my experience of spirituality in Eureka ever since I got here, which was quite a long time ago. The second quality, there's an acceptance. The second quality, I mentioned, that is not just tolerance, but actually being curious, actually wanting to feel like, okay, this is my path, perhaps, but maybe there's something in this other path or this other religion that will help me grow. So there's also an exchange back and forth of people that do have a spiritual orientation. Um, and then there's an acceptance and a love of people who don't. And that, I think that's very important. And I don't experience from many people in Eureka any kind of pressuring to have someone else have the same path or the same faith as themselves. I think that's very unique, and it's a beautiful quality. That's the third one, where there's not only an acceptance, but there's a friendly sharing, but not a pressure to feel that everybody has to have the same spiritual path as me, or the same religion, or the same teacher, or anything like that. So, and the other quality I think is, well, I did say that in some line, a lot. So there's acceptance, there's learning, there's acceptance of folks that really are not oriented towards spirit at a particular time in their life. Whether they ever will be or not is up to them. And that's the fourth quality, which is a giving of freedom to others to find their spiritual way. So that's my experience of being in Eureka, just talking about generally about spirituality. Thank you.